But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Simon Cowell because he's got this whole boy band situation that's popping around, and it seemed like that is not working. So Simon Cowell's quest to discover a new boy band hit a snag when only a handful of hopefuls turned up to audition. Now, shout out to Daily Mail for this story because it says Simon Cowell's flashy new talent search to find the next One Direction has hit another snag with 2 rounds of auditions reportedly being axed by bosses. The music mogul recently set out a quest to find the next incarnation of the boy band after admitting there had not been a band as successful since, with plans for the search to appear in a Netflix documentary called The Midas Touch. Well, child, that's because you went and dogged out and, well, you try to act like K-pop ain't a thing. So the people had to get on social media. It was like, how you sitting there talking about there's been no big boy band since One Direction when there's a whole K-pop movement going on and they've been selling out arenas. I worked the boy band show. What's it called? TXT, Tomorrow X Together, I think is what they're called. The cuties. There's some bops. I ain't never heard of them because I really don't listen to K-pop like that. I kind of did briefly when I lived in LA because there's a lot of Asians that live out there. So I was listening to Blackpink and all that other stuff, but I was never really into K-pop that like that. I went through my boy band phase. Like I was out here listening to NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. That's my generation. New Kids on the Block was way before my time. So I was basically NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, not 98 Degrees. 98 Degrees, nobody was really checking for them, quiet as it's kept. But my other boy band, I did like what was the group Together? They were a parody that they did over on MTV. That was a cute little thing that they did. What was it? Calculus, you plus me equals us. That was such a stupid song, but I liked it. It was a vibe. And one of the members from the group, I believe, passed away because he was sick. I think he had cancer. But anyway, let's get into the story because I went down memory lane with the boy bands. So it said it's been reported by The Sun that the first 2 rounds of auditions in Newcastle, which were due to kick off on Thursday, July 4th, have been axed by bosses. This has reduced the number of auditions previously branded as a nationwide hunt from 9 to just 7. It's also been reported that in a bid to build interest, bosses are enlisting TikTok stars and influencers to promote the call out for auditions itself, and we're reaching out to a number of content creators. Yeah, because this is the future. This is why I said, like, they know that content creators, people who are on social media, we're the ones who are pushing the needle forward. We're the ones that's influencing the people. The people are actually watching our content and our videos and stuff and getting the information that way, because you're not going to get the real from the media, the actual journalists. So some of us are actually out here digging up the information and bringing it to y'all. So they said that Simon had previously surprised the music industry by announcing that he was launching his talent search in Newcastle first, followed by Liverpool, Dublin, and London. He said at the time, there's always a high degree of risk that I genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. We might cover an incredible group. We might not get there. What if no one shows up to auditions? That would be awkward. Well, the latter kind of sort of happened. Simon had previously shared his excitement at kicking off his boy band search in the Northeast hotspot, having previously discovered stars such as James Arthur and Cheryl in the city, as in Cheryl Cole. Because, she only go by her first name now. He added, I wanted to go to places with fun people. So Newcastle, yeah, I like the people from Newcastle. Reps for Simon previously told The Sun that the Newcastle auditions were never canceled because no venues had been booked, noting it was due to travel schedules. Mail Online had contacted reps to further comment. Doubts were previously, okay. You know what? No shade, Daily Mail, but y'all really need to proofread before y'all hit send on a lot of y'all stories, because I'm noticing a lot of grammatical errors. My Virgo was Virgoing. Y'all know how it be. So it said doubts were previously cast. That's what they should have been. Not doubts had previously cast. That don't even make sense. Okay, Chris, focus. Okay. So on Simon's brand new talent search on Tuesday, when a singer issued a savage message to the Britain's Got Talent judge after he was approached by a casting director to audition for the next One Direction. In his search for his newest stars, Simon has been seen taken to the streets of London with a sign that read Simon needs you, future megastars wanted for new boy band. Meanwhile, his team of casting directors have been reaching out to potential candidates online, but one was not impressed. That's what it said. Finn Power from Liverpoolian band Stone claimed he had received a message from someone on behalf of Simon and shared his brutal response. Now, I do have that video. That was the one I was trying to pull up for y'all earlier. And when I was stalling, so I found it. And what I'm going to do is we're going to play it, and then we'll come back with the rest of the show. Please hold. Oh, damn. Now I'm seeing Jonathan Majors trending. That's what we just talked about on the previous topic.
So, I got this message from someone on behalf of Simon Cowell. Hello, Finn. I'm contacting you on behalf of Simon Cowell. We're working to scout singers, blah, 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 potential television documentary for a new boy band, blah, 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 blah. And there's only one appropriate reply. Tell Simon Cowell to go fuck himself. Team 1D.
Okay, so he said, tell Simon to go fuck himself, Team 1D. And that is a cackle. And it's like, that's all you need to hear from that whole situation, because that was hilarious. And so it's just like, you know what? A lot of these kids out here, see, this is what you fail to realize. I just feel like, you know what? Maybe with all this going on, that, back in the day when I was coming up, like I said, I came up in the era of NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, O-Town, 98 Degrees, that whole sort of thing. When you have the boy bands and the girl bands, like Eden's Crush and Pussycat Dolls, which, sidebar, I did see an article earlier on page 6 where Nicole Scherzinger said, don't rule out that her possibly reuniting with PCD, even with the lawsuit that was filed against her by Robin Anton, who was the founder of PCD. She said she's still open. Maybe she's saying that to just keep the olive branch, whatever the case is. But girl, she on Broadway, living her best life. She ain't trying to come back to that damn group. But if she said it, we'll just entertain it. And girls allowed that sort of thing. That's like my generation of groups in Destiny's Child. We've got to put them in there. So when you have that sort of thing, I think back then, my generation was willing to do whatever we had to, the blood, sweat, and the tears, and the boot camps and all the other stuff, to become that group, to become that big international pop act. Spice Girls too. Like, we got to put them in there, because that's my generation also. And I grew up listening to the Spice Girls. I remember when that first album came out, I ran my ass to the record. Well, I didn't run my ass because they had to be driven. I had to ask my parents, could they take me to the store? I forgot which store that I went to. It was somewhere in Long Island. And record store, went in there, started buying some music. I had to get that CD. Because, I loved the lead single. If you want to be my lover, you have to get with my friends, not sexually, because that's not what she meant. That's not what they meant, even though I guess we thought that that's what they meant back then. Well, I was just singing the song. I didn't know what it meant. But also, that's just, I guess, British term for, if you want to be with me, there isn't a price to pay, because you don't have to rub me the right way. I'm not a genie in a bottle. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going into Christina territory. Chris, bring it back. I'm losing it today. So it's just like, what that meant was that you got to get through my friends. My friends have to vet you out. That's what those lyrics actually meant when you saying you got to get with my friends. Not, you got to sleep with all the other 4 before you get to the 5th, which would be me. It's not what that meant. So, I don't know. People thought that was a sexual term. That's not what it was. But anyway, so when I was coming up in that whole time, we was all willing to do what we had to do to become famous, go through the boot camps and all other stuff. I feel like now the times have changed. People have social media. They're hip to a lot of the shadiness that has gone on behind the scenes when it comes to a lot of these groups, where there's a lot of these boy bands have said that they don't get paid, that they were broke, that they got ripped off by a lot of stuff. And then we heard the stuff not too long ago that came out with Simon, where he said the shady shit that he said about One Direction. And now, I wish I would have owned the name. He don't own the name. I guess I believe 1D owns the name. And it's like all the other boys since then are famous, even except the one that knocked up Cheryl Cole. I think he's the one. Who is it? Louis Tomlinson. I believe he's the one that really isn't the successful one. The one that's really successful is what we already know about Harry Styles. Harry Styles is one of like the biggest star to come out of that group. And then we know Niall Horan, who I worked his show. His show was sold out. It was a lot of that's what it was. When we was talking about it yesterday, I was like, there was a group. I mean, there was somebody that was performing, and there was a guy that was behind them because I told her there these people now complaining about art, like fans standing up watching concerts, which I was like, huh? I always thought people could stand up and watch it. That's the show that it was, because I couldn't remember what show it was yesterday. It was the Niall Horan show. There was some young girls that were standing up. There was a man, I guess he older with bad knees, whatever the case was. He's like 6'4" or whatever. Talking about the girls was blocking his view. They're enjoying the show. So I just went over there and talked to them. I was like, I'm sorry. I know y'all want to be here having a good time, and I want to ruin their moments. I was like, can y'all just scoot over? They was little skinny things. So I was like, can y'all just scoot over a little bit and don't block the man view, and y'all can still stand up and watch the show. So that's what had happened. And to me, I just feel like, you know what? A lot of these kids these days, they are on to y'all in regards to the scams and the shenanigans that y'all be putting these kids through. And they're not willing to put in deal with the BS that a lot of people of my generation and probably before that had to deal with when they were doing those whole let's find the next band or the next boy band or whatever the case is. So they said they're looking with him to scout singers around 16 to 18 for a new boy band, which is being filmed as part of a potential televised documentary. So maybe it would be cute or whatever because it's for Netflix. But I just don't see a lot of these younger generations being like, they're like, we're on to you. We're not, like, we know the type of scamations and the shit that's going to go down because we've seen so many of these reality shows, especially, let's not forget, Making the Band and all the drama that was going on behind with that, and Danity Kane and Day 26 and all that other stuff. And plus, Netflix, speaking of which, I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. They have a documentary that's coming out about Lou Pearlman called Dirty Pop, which looks very similar to the documentary that Lance Bass did a couple of years ago, where they're going to go and break down the drama that happened with with Lou Pearlman and that whole drama with him, and the stuff that the boy bands that were part of his situation went through. I don't know when that's going to air. I do believe it's sometime in this month, July. But even though I did see the one, I think I saw it on YouTube, actually. Somebody then bootlegged it and posted it up there. Because, whenever you want to see something, YouTube always find a way to put it up there. So I saw the Lance Bass documentary, and it was pretty good. But knowing me, I'm definitely check out this one that they got coming out with the Dirty Pop one that they have coming out. And they got some people talking. I think AJ McLean was one of the people that was in the commercial. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So I ask all of you this. What do y'all think of this whole situation? I honestly don't see that. Simon Cowell done call this thing the Midas touch. I honestly feel that he doesn't have that anymore. He don't have the Midas touch. Yeah, what worked 20-some odd years ago when we first got wind of you as the host of, not host, the judge of American Idol and that sort of thing, will work back then. Now that these kids, we in accountability era situations now, I just don't see that this younger up and coming Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation situation, I'm rhyming, is gonna put up with the same things that my generation, millennials, Gen X, and so on and so forth, had to put up with when we were willing to do what we had to become part of the whole boy band situation. So I don't see that happening with this generation. But anyway, do y'all think this thing is actually going to work itself out? Or is Netflix going to end up canceling this documentary or docu-series because they can't find nobody that's gullible enough to sell their soul and sell their life away to be a part of a boy band where they're probably not going to make no real money from? But remember, Simon did say, he said that he wished he owned the name to One Direction. So whatever this boy band is going to become, you best believe he going to make sure that he owns the rights to that name. And y'all going to be forever indebted to him until y'all can potentially find a way to, break them chains and try to find a way to become the next Harry Styles or the next Niall Horan. But anyway, let me know what y'all guys think of this story down below.